Good morning, Robert. Happy Tuesday. I hope your week's going really well. I hope you were able to sleep during those kind of scary storms yesterday. I saw Riley graduated from puppy school. I bet she's being a really good puppy to you these days. She always has been. Let's jump right in with some Go Noodle Flow Buddy. Here we go.
Melting, melting, melting. We all have those moments when we freeze. We can't move. We can't think. But with practice, we can get good at melting that frozen feeling. Let's freeze up and then melt. Stand up in a spot with a little space around you. Cross your arms and hold your shoulders with your hands. Carefully tuck your chin down and in. Tighten as many muscles in your body as you can. Let your body be frozen, like an ice statue. Feet tight, legs tense, belly tight, shoulders up. Now, even make a frozen face. Close your eyes, your mouth, your jaw, tight. Feeling frozen? Really still? Now, little by little, begin to melt. Let your chin stay low as your face softens and melts. Your jaw opens slightly, your eyes blink open, just a little. Your mouth and cheeks melt and feel soft. You're melting. Let your shoulders melt and go down. Hands let go. Arms glide down to your sides, melting. Let your legs melt too. Soften and bend. Melt. Try to melt all the way to the floor. Down, down, down. Let yourself be a blob, a puddle on the floor. Melted all the way to soft. Exhale long. Once frozen and tight, and now melted, a little more at ease. Let's do it again. This time, choose your own frozen statue. Be creative. Freeze your arms. Freeze your legs. Freeze your face. Make a funny face if you'd like. Freeze there.
Robert.
Tighten. Freeze, freeze, freeze. You're frozen. Close your eyes or keep them open. Stay frozen for just one more moment. Ready to melt? One icy part of you at a time begins to melt. Face, eyes, jaw, head, chin goes down, shoulders drop, fingers soften and droop, hands too, arms float down. You are melting. Let your legs allow you to melt down to the floor. Melt, 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 droop, settle, and rest.
Great job,
Melting.
Robert.
Try
Make
to
sure
feel
those
it
hands and
easier.
those arms are all ready to go so you can touch your switch to
Check
play
in on your body.
songs.
Is any area still frozen?
Hands and the arms, remember?
Notice that tightness. Melt it if you wish. Rest here. Breathe. Eyes are open or closed. Next time you feel frozen, in your mind or in your body, try to melt it away.
Good job, bud. Awesome, awesome. Let's jump right into our numbers and our letters, pal. Let me this out. Whoa! That was a crazy noise. Not quite. Yeah, that got a little crazy there. Let's jump right into our numbers and our letters, pal. The numbers first. Number 1, there is only, here we go. Sorry about that. Gotta share the screen so you can see what we're doing. Here we go. Number 1, there is only one Robert Percy who has one nose, one mouth, and one gigantic heart. The number 1. 2, Robert, you have 2 eyes, you have 2 ears, you have 2 lungs that help you breathe. 1, 2. 1, 2. Remember this silly one, Robert? You don't have 3 of anything because you're not an alien. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember, 1, 2, 3. But we can't count anything on our body that has 3 because you're not an alien. You can see some of these aliens have 3 eyes, 6 hands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eyes again. Crazy stuff. Number 4 is our next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we take our 2 hands and our 2 feet, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And our last one to give a high 5 is our number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. The number 5. Perfect. Let's move on over to your name. Oh, that got big. We have the R for Robert. Robert. We have the A for Robert. We have B for Robert. A B. R-O-B. Rob. And then remember our E and our R have to go together to make the sound for Rob, And then the last one is our T, Robert. The T sound T to finish Robert. R-O-B-E-R-T. R-O-B-E-R-T. That's you, sir. R-O-B-E-R-T. Robert Bursey. Excellent. Alrighty, let's keep rolling into this with when the band comes marching in. Here we go.
Oh, when the drum comes marching in. Oh, when the drum comes marching in. It goes. When the drum comes marching in. Oh, when the tuba comes marching in. Oh, when the tuba comes marching in. It goes. When the tuba comes marching in. Oh, when the trumpet comes marching in. Oh, when the trumpet comes marching in. It goes. When the trumpet comes marching in. Oh, when the trombone comes marching in. Oh, when the trombone comes marching in. It goes. When the trombone comes marching in. Oh, when the clarinet comes marching in. Oh, when the clarinet comes marching in. It goes. When the clarinet comes marching in. Oh, when the flute comes marching in. Oh, when the flute comes marching in. It goes. When the flute comes marching in. Oh, when the cymbal comes marching in. Oh, when the cymbal comes marching in. It goes. When the cymbal comes marching in. Oh, when the band comes marching in. Oh, when the band comes marching in. It goes. When the band comes marching in. sing
That's a great one. I really, really like that tune. It's a good, good, good song. It's a great one. We're going to jump right into our story for today, too, buddy. And today, our story's name is, it's about the trombone. And the story is, let's see, Trombone Shorty is the name of our book today. So here we go. Make sure you click the link below so that you can hear the music when this story is done. I hope you have a great day, buddy. Here's your story.
Trombone Shorty by Troy Trombone Shorty Andrews. Illustrated by Brian Collier. Trombone Shorty. Words by Troy Trombone Shorty Andrews. Pictures by Brian Collier. Where yet? Where yet? We have our own way of living down here in New Orleans, and our own way of talking too. And that's what we like to say when we want to tell a friend hello. So, where yet? Lots of kids have nicknames, but I want to tell you the story of how I got mine. Just like when you listen to your favorite song, let's start at the beginning, because this is a story about music. Before you can understand how much music means to me, you have to know how important it is to my hometown, my greatest inspiration. I grew up in a neighborhood in New Orleans called Treme. Any time of day or night, you could hear music floating in the air. And there was music in my house too. My big brother James played the trumpet so loud you could hear him halfway across town. He was the leader of his own band, and my friends and I would pretend to be in the band too. "Follow me," James would say. There's one time every year that's more exciting than any other: Mardi Gras. Parades fill the streets, and beaded necklaces are thrown through the air to the crowd. I love the brass bands, with their own trumpets, trombones, saxophones, and the biggest brass instrument of them all, the tuba, which rested over the musician's head like an elephant's trunk. "Where yet? Where yet?" the musicians would call. All day long, I could see brass bands parade by my house, while my neighbors danced along. I loved these parades during Mardi Gras because they made everyone forget about their troubles for a little while. People didn't have a lot of money in Treme, but we always had a lot of music. I listened to all these sounds and mixed them together, just like how we make our food. We take one big pot, throw in sausage, crab, shrimp, chicken, vegetables, rice, whatever's in the kitchen, and stir it all together and let it cook. When it's done, it's the most delicious taste you've ever tried. We call it gumbo. And that's what I wanted my music to sound like. Different styles combined to create my own musical gumbo. But first, I needed an instrument. The great thing about music is that you don't even need a real instrument to play. So my friends and I decided to make our own. We might have sounded different from the real brass bands, but we felt like the greatest musicians of Treme. We were making music, and that's all that mattered. Then, one day, I found a broken trombone that looked too beaten up to make music anymore. It didn't sound perfect, but finally, with a real instrument in my hand, I was ready to play. The next time the parade went by my house, I grabbed that trombone and headed out into the street. My brother James noticed me playing along and smiled proudly. "Trombone Shorty," he called out, because the instrument was twice my size. "Where you at?" From that day on, everyone called me Trombone Shorty. I took that trombone everywhere I went and never stopped playing. I was so small that sometimes I fell right over to the ground because it was so heavy. But I always got back up, and I learned to hold it up high. I listened to my brother play songs over and over, and I taught myself those songs too. I practiced day and night, and sometimes I fell asleep with my trombone in my hands. One day, my mom surprised me with tickets to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, the best and biggest music festival in town. We went to see Bo Diddley, who my mom said was one of the most important musicians of all time. As I watched him on stage, I raised my trombone to my lips and started to play along. He stopped his band in the middle of the song and asked the crowd, "Who's that playing out there?" Everyone started pointing, but Bo Diddley couldn't see me because I was the smallest one in the place. So my mom held me up in the air and said, "That's my son, Trombone Shorty." "Well, Trombone Shorty, come on up here," Bo Diddley said. The crowd passed me overhead until I was standing on the stage next to Bo Diddley himself. I walked right up to the microphone and held my trombone high up in the air, ready to blow. "What do you want to play?" Bo Diddley asked. "Follow me," I said. After I played with Bo Diddley, I knew I was ready to have my own band. I got my friends together and we called ourselves the 5 o'clock band because that was the time we went out to play each day after finishing our homework. We played all around New Orleans. I practiced and practiced, and soon my brother James asked me to join his band. When people wondered who the kid in his band was, he'd proudly say, "That's my little brother, Trombone Shorty. Where you at?" And now I have my own band called Trombone Shorty in Orleans Avenue, named after a street in Treme. I've played all around the world, but I always come back to New Orleans. And when I'm home, I make sure to keep my eyes on the younger musicians in town and help them out, just like my brother did for me. Today, I play at the same New Orleans Jazz Festival where I once played with Bo Diddley. And when the performance ends, I lead a parade of musicians around, just like I used to do in the streets of Treme with my friends. "Where you at? Where you at?" I still keep my trombone in my hands, and I will never let it go.
All right, buddy. There's nothing really more to that story, but that is the story of Trombone Shorty. So if you click the link below, you'll see some or hear some trombone music. And I will talk to you tomorrow, Robert. Have a great Tuesday. Bye, buddy. I miss you.